They say the lion fears no one. And yet here he is. Not charging. Not roaring. Just watching. The target? A buffalo. Slower. Bigger. Alone. It doesn't make sense until you see what the buffalo is carrying. Two curves. Dark. Solid. Sharp as silence. Not just horns, but reasons to think twice. Welcome back to Buffalo vs. Lion Explained, where we go beyond what's visible into the mechanics, instincts, and evolutionary brilliance that shape survival in the wild. In this episode, we're not just looking at horns. We're decoding them. Because these aren't accessories. They're architecture, strategy, a product of millions of years of trial, error, and triumph. We'll uncover the structure and purpose behind the buffalo's iconic horns. Why shape matters more than size in a life or death face-off. And how these natural weapons reshape the rules between predator and prey. If you believe survival is more than muscle, stick around. Because today, the buffalo's story is written not in speed, but in curves. The engineering of horns. To the untrained eye, a buffalo's horns are just horns. But to a lion, those curves are caution signs. Start with the shape. They arch outward, then dip, then sweep up into points. It's not random. It's geometry designed for one thing: redirection. A lion lunges straight. Horns don't. They spin the story sideways. That central boss where the horns fuse over the forehead is like nature's own helmet. A compact slab of bone dense enough to absorb impact from almost anything on the savanna. And unlike antlers that shed every year, buffalo horns grow stronger with time. They calcify. Thicken. Remember. Run your hand across one if you dared. You'd feel grooves, each a marker of age, conflict, and resilience. Now think of how the horns are positioned. Unlike forward-facing tusks or defensive kicks, buffalo horns curve forward and out. That means they can swing wide, hook under, lift, twist. Imagine trying to grab a spinning boomerang from the wrong side, except it's 900 kilograms of muscle behind it. More than just offense or defense, these horns serve another purpose: psychological warfare. Lions don't just see shape. They remember it. Stories pass through generations, young lions watching older ones back away. Not from teeth. Not from roars. But from silence and a slow, low head tilt that says, "Try me." And in that moment, it doesn't matter how hungry the lion is. Because evolution didn't just build these horns for fighting. It built them for making predators think twice before they even try. That's what makes the buffalo's horns one of the most respected designs in nature. They don't just fight back. They speak first. The mechanics of the horns. When a buffalo lowers its head, it's not just posturing. It's preparing. Those horns aren't static, they move with intention. Picture this: a lion approaches from the flank. The buffalo turns not away, but sideways, aligning its horns in the perfect angle. Then comes the pivot. A quick, low sweep. And suddenly, a wall of bone gnaws through the air like a scythe. This isn't random aggression. It's physics in action. The wide curve of the horns allows for a range of motion most predators aren't prepared for. They can reach forward, sideways, even slightly behind, making it extremely difficult for a lion to find a safe zone. And here's where instinct becomes engineering. Buffaloes don't need training. Their muscles remember the angles. Their neck strength, combined with momentum, generates enough force to unbalance or repel even the most determined predator. Let's break that down mechanically. The average Cape buffalo can swing its head in a 90-degree arc in less than half a second. Multiply that with the mass of the horns and skull, you're looking at a kinetic package similar to a battering ram. But here's the genius. It's not brute force alone. It's controlled energy. When under attack, buffalo don't panic, they time. They measure. They wait for that half second when the lion's weight shifts, and then unleash a perfectly timed counter. It's the equivalent of a boxer slipping a punch and returning a hook all in one motion. Even more impressive is how adaptable the strike is. In open terrain, buffalo swing wide. In tight quarters or surrounded, they thrust upward or twist sideways, sometimes even using one horn as leverage to pivot their body around the other. This kind of flexibility isn't common in horned animals. Most use them for ritualistic battles or simple forward thrusts. But buffalo? They use theirs like tools. Each move calculated. Each strike purposeful. There are recorded moments where a single well-timed horn movement saved a calf or scattered a pride. And it's not just offense. Horns are also the first line of defense. The frontal boss protects the skull from impact. If a lion leaps onto the buffalo's head, those horns act as both shield and weapon. It's this duality, attack and defend, that makes the buffalo's horns unique. Nature didn't just give the buffalo horns to make it look powerful. It gave them a function-first design that works in harmony with instinct, speed, and structure. And in the wild, when instinct meets design with that level of precision, even the boldest predator takes pause. How buffaloes use them in real combat. Now let's move from theory to practice. Because it's one thing to understand how buffalo horns are shaped. It's another to witness how they're used with intention, precision, and a kind of brutal grace. Let's break down a real-world scenario. A lioness creeps from the left, low, steady, undetected. Her target is a calf. Vulnerable. Exposed. But before she reaches it, the air shifts. A tremor runs through the ground. The mother doesn't scream. Doesn't flinch. She rotates. Slowly. Bracing herself, horns angled like open arms. The lioness lunges. And that's when the dance begins. One forward jab. The lioness dodges, but not fast enough. A glancing strike clips her shoulder, knocking her off rhythm. And now the buffalo is in motion. Not galloping, rotating. Turning her entire body to keep those horns between her and the threat. She's not chasing the lion. She's herding it away. That's the true mastery of the buffalo. Its horns don't just attack, they control space. This is territorial fencing in motion. Invisible boundaries created by swinging bone. And it doesn't stop there. When facing multiple predators, buffaloes form formations, defensive circles, staggered lines. But more importantly, they position their horns outward, in all directions. Each buffalo becomes a spoke in a wheel. A rotating defense grid. Try to flank one and you'll meet another. Try to isolate the calf and you'll be intercepted. This kind of coordination seems almost military. But it's instinct refined over time, reinforced through survival. The horns become extensions of awareness. They poke through tall grass, signaling presence. They knock against each other during tense moments, communicating readiness. And when the first strike is made, every buffalo knows exactly what to do. Even lone buffaloes, separated from the herd, adapt their tactics.
This one's done.
They'll back into trees to limit the approach angle. They'll feint left, then pivot right, using their horns as bait and weapon. In one documented case, a solitary bull faked retreat, only to spin mid-run and impale a chasing lion under the rib. This wasn't luck. It was design. Strategy honed by pressure. And lions? They've learned. They approach buffaloes not with hunger alone but with history. A lion doesn't just see horns. It sees stories etched in scars. It sees the twitch of a shoulder, the tilt of a head, and remembers, this could be another lesson. A painful one. Because in every buffalo's charge is a history of survival. Every sweep of the horn is a sentence in the language of resistance. The buffalo doesn't fight because it's aggressive. It fights because it knows what it's protecting. And those horns? They're not just tools. They're boundaries. Lines drawn in dust and instinct. And when crossed, they answer not with panic, but purpose. That's what separates the buffalo from most prey. It doesn't just react. It strategizes. It studies its attacker and writes its own reply, one curved edge at a time. So the next time you see a lion hesitate, know that it's not just about size. It's about intelligence, experience, respect. Because in the wild, even kings bow to design that works. What the horns represent. By now, it's clear the horns of a buffalo are more than just weapons. They are symbols of survival, defiance, and the deep intelligence of prey animals often underestimated. In the wild, most defense is temporary. A sprint, a bark, a flash of color. But a buffalo? Its defense is permanent, built into its skull. Always present. Always ready. That changes everything. Because it's not just about what the buffalo can do, it's about what the lion sees. When a predator locks eyes with a buffalo, it's not looking at food. It's looking at a decision. Every line of that horn tells a story. Some curve wide, built for sweeping space. Others tilt higher, shaped by terrain and use. And each one is backed by instinct honed through generations. These aren't just horns. They're blueprints for survival. And for lions, they represent something more. A choice. A warning. A question. How much are you willing to risk? For a meal? In nature, every encounter has weight. Not every kill is worth the wound. Not every opportunity is worth the cost. That's why lions hesitate. Not out of fear, but out of respect. The buffalo's horns teach restraint, strategy, timing. They remind even the fiercest predator, sometimes, victory belongs not to the bold, but to the balanced. So when you see a buffalo standing firm, horns forward, eyes unflinching, remember. It's not just defending itself. It's holding the line between chaos and survival. Between instinct and intelligence. Between the hunter and the hunted. And that's what makes this matchup, buffalo versus lion, one of the wild's greatest standoffs. Because it's not always about who's stronger. It's about who understands the cost. Next episode, teaser. So, what did we really learn today? The horns of a buffalo are more than a physical trait, they are a philosophy carved in bone. They represent caution, control, and the wild's most overlooked weapon, discipline. Lions don't back off because they're afraid. They back off because the buffalo has taught them, not every path leads to reward. This is what makes buffalo versus lion such a captivating rivalry. It's not just claws versus horns. It's instinct versus calculation. Muscle versus mindset. Survival versus strategy. If this made you see these animals in a new light, don't forget to subscribe. Because we're just getting started. In the next episode of Buffalo vs. Lion Explained, we dive into the heart of decision making. Why do buffaloes sometimes turn around and charge alone? Is it bravery? A bluff? Or something deeper within the social dynamics of the herd? We'll decode the psychology, the triggers, and what really happens when prey becomes defender. What do you think? Can horns really be the reason lions hold back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, remember, in nature, sometimes the quietest defenses make the loudest statements.